All right, guys, this is Matt Smith here, Colton RV. I have our Thor rep here, Chad Neff. He's going to go over our Miramar. This is the 34.6, great addition. Chad, tell me a couple things. What kind of paint do we use on this?
Yep, so this is our Sickens automotive paint. This is the Mood Indigo paint option. Right now, Miramar, everything's full body paint standard. The nicest thing with the full body paint is it's clear coated over top, so you're not gonna get those ridges, the decals aren't gonna fade. That's the beauty of our full body paint.
That's great, great. One thing that we have this power awning system on here. This is what type of awning?
Lippert awning, which is ultimately, it has a motion sensor. So if it is windy, and like it is today, it actually would bounce and it would go in, retract, so that way it's not gonna damage your coach.
And then they got the LED lights on the arms, so when this awning comes out, projects the LEDs in your campground and not out to the other campsites, bugging your neighbors and everything else. We'll go up to the front. The chassis on this, this is the V8, right?
Correct, yeah, this is the big V8. It's 7.3 liter V8, so it's gonna have 350 foot-pounds or 350 horsepower with 468 foot-pounds of torque. So it's going to get you up and over those hills with a great 6-speed torque shift transmission.
So that's taking place of that Triton V10 that they had on here. So this is actually going to give you more horsepower, more tow capacity. It's going to be a little bit quieter ride once you get it all nice, warm, toasty going down the road. Perfect. And then you got your turn signal. Mirror cameras and these mirrors, which is really nice to see your blind spots. We were talking earlier that you could even use it as like a security camera, right?
So when I travel, a lot of times I can only get so far, and a lot of times it's 3 in the morning. I'll pull over in the roadside campground, Walmart parking lot. So I leave the turn signal to the turn it on right. As soon as someone knocks at the door in the middle of the night, turn that ignition key on, and it's going to give you a security camera.
That's awesome because you can't see through these doors. They got exactly. The glass where you can't really see through, so it's a nice feature to have for you. Then we go through the front. I love the front end on these, the headlights, and then this even has the fog lights, right?
Yep. These are actually LED strips as well, so these will light up as a running light as you're going down the road. Nice.
Automotive windshield?
Yeah, one-piece automotive windshield. So again, it is automotively installed. It's not a there's no bead. It's actually sealed right to the cap.
Perfect. Again, Matt Smith here, Colton RV. We're walking around this Miramar. It's made by Thor. It's a great product, a full body paint. As we go around this, please chime in. Let us know, your feedbacks on our videos here. We'll continue to walk around.
Sounds great.
What size tires are these?
So those are your 22.5s with the Alcoa rims. So those are the biggest tires you get on the F53 chassis. A great thing for your ride. Where I'm from in Michigan, we all know the roads aren't the best. With the bigger rim and tire, you're going to get a better feel on a ride going down the road.
Yeah, more rubber, better ride.
Yep.
It's just simple, right? Then we'll go through our compartment doors. What is the floor made of these?
So that's your Rotocast material. The nice thing for that, if you were to pick up some road debris and it's going to kick up, ultimately it's going to bounce off and you can keep going versus turn it into an accordion.
Yeah, and then even with this chassis, you do get some pass-through. So if you can look underneath, you can see that there's a gap there. You can actually put ladders, all kinds of things in there for storage-wise. So you get great storage space in these. Yep. And we go around, look at all this storage. Then over here is your wet bay. Wet bay is really great for when you're dumping your tanks, your fresh water, your normal. You can run off your fresh water. You can run off your storage tank. Water filters here. You got your outdoor shower, which is great. Rinsing your hands off, especially after you dump your tanks, right? The hole is meant for when you're at your permanent sites and sites that have septic systems in them. So that way you can dump right, run the hose through the big hole here and run your line to the dump, and then you can close your door. So great. Any other features I missed here?
The only thing I do love the fact with full hookup, I do recommend, even though you have full hookup, leave that black gate valve closed. Otherwise, your solids will not break down and you're gonna get to where we all don't like clogged toilet or plugged toilets.
Exactly.
So ultimately, once you get to 3/4, then pull that gate valve, because then the rushing water will ultimately clean it out much better.
Yep. Frameless windows. The good benefit of these, while it's raining out, you can still leave your windows open, still get that breeze through the coach. And then also all your seals are protected behind the tinted glass here. So it's a great feature to have. Thor does a great job making sure that they know you have to have that. Standard on all the slide toppers?
It is, yep. So we don't cut any corners at Thor. So all your Thor motor coaches are going to have a slide topper as a standard option.
Nice. And you'll see this floor plan. We have a huge slide on this. So if you come over here, you can see Thor reinforces their Schwintek system here. So they got 3 rails on this. So that way it's going to be, you know, strong enough to be able to hold that slide in, pulling that slide in and out. Great feature for all that there. Your generator back here. So this is a 5500 gas, right?
Yep, this is going to pull off the same fuel tank as what the engine does, and it will cut out at 1/4. So if you're boondocking, you're not going to get stranded. And this will power the whole coach. So both air's running, convection oven running, TV's running. You are completely self-contained. No reason to plug in if you don't want to.
Yeah, perfect. So people that say they like the boondock and everything else, you got the generator to use it for any situation you're in. Your fuel station, I love that it's in the back here, not just on one side. So when you pull in that gas station, you don't have to guess what side is that gas fill on.
I love that.
You know,
point.
yeah.
Never
So,
thought of that.
yep. Full body cap on the back too, right?
Yes, yep, full gel coat cap with a ladder. We do have a walkable roof, so we definitely recommend every spring and fall get those roof sealants maintenance. It's just a great preventative aspect to keep your coach looking nicer longer.
And for all you guys and girls that like to cook outside and have their own little kitchen, look at this. So you got yourself a nice kitchen area. You got your fridge. It's a 110 fridge, so you have to have power when you run this fridge. The fridge inside, you don't need to be plugged in though, which is really nice. How does this work? This is so you fill up and then you got a...
Yeah, so we actually put a lift pump because this is below where the tank drop is. What we do is we actually put a lift pump. So once you use your hot and cold, you can fill that up and then dump it, lift it right up to the coach. Does this have the tankless water heater? With the tankless water heater, it's a little different than the tanks, is you want to turn the hot on all the way, and that will cycle and actually activate the water heater and then filter in the cold. Versus turning the hot on quarter way and then more cold. You want to make sure to turn that on all the way.
Yeah. I've learned that on my 5th wheel myself. So
yep.
Hardwood, all wood cabinetry. So that's a nice feature. You're not going to have the particle or the tape and everything else that peels off. And then this is you said a low pressure propane.
Yeah, it works great for your RBQ. So you can use the onboard fuel for the propane versus bringing the separate canister or a separate 20-pound tank.
Perfect. And right under here is your hydraulic system, and you got 2 6-volt batteries on this. How does that work again?
Yeah, so we love the 6 volts because ultimately you're going to get a longer life out of 2 6 volts versus 1 12. And again, we do put them in a series, which gives you the 12-volt coach. So be careful if you do ever have to exchange those batteries. I always put some tape on there, because those are actually hooked up a little different than your normal 12-volt in a parallel situation.
Or you could do the younger age way, take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then you can remember how it's set up.
Exactly.
And then you had this is that tankless water tank that he was talking about. So nice, easy system. As you run your water, it heats it up. So there's no tank in there, so you got forever hot water. Yep. Yeah, you leave your gray tanks open, and yeah, it's just, you take long showers. I love that feature of it. This is your fresh water tank. Really nice features on this. It's easy accessible, so you can actually open the door and see if your sensors are actually telling you the right amount. And it even shows you 75 gallons. This is up to 100 or?
Yeah, 100-gallon fresh water.
And they put the bigger pipes on these, so when you're done, you can open these pipes up and it drains out fast instead of taking hours on the little half-inch pipes.
I always recommend to drain it down after you're using it, just doesn't get stagnant, and we allow you to just dump it right away so your neighbors aren't thinking you're putting something on the ground that shouldn't be.
Yeah. And then this is going to come with an outside TV entertainment center with the sound bar, which is really nice. You can sit outside underneath the awning, watch NASCAR, football games, and it's on a swing arm.
Yeah, so if the sun is hitting it one way or the other, you can try to get the glare to go the other way.
Another key feature, this is standard on all the industries, is if you're looking for the propane door, it's always the one without a lock on it. So if on travel trailers, fifth wheels, there won't be a lock key for it. Just because if you ever have an incident, fire department or somebody needs to get to it, shut off your valves, it's right there, easy accessible, without having to worry about breaking doors open. So this you would just pull right up to a propane station, fill station, and they can hook right up to it and fill it up, so you don't have to carry a tank around like on a travel trailer or fifth wheel, right? I think we're good outside.
Yeah.
We'll go inside, take a look at a couple of features inside too.
Yeah, sounds great.
Go right ahead.
Thank you.
As you come in, on all motorhomes, you're going to have some type of, especially gas, you're going to have some type of power turn batteries on and off. So when you first walk through, this one has a power button right here. So you can turn the power on, and then they do a nice feature here where they got you can turn the master lights on and off right here before you actually go on the coach, looking for buttons and switches and everything else. So it's all right in the door. Come on in. All right, so now we're in the front of this coach here, and what I want to point out is the differences between that V10 and the V8. You could tell this is the V8 brand new engine just by the steering wheel here. You got all your steering wheel controls. It's more of a upgraded look to it. So when you get to the campsite, so the first thing you're going to do, this is what I like to do, back the coach in or pull through whatever site you got at or that you're at. You're going to put your emergency brake down, leave the engine running. I usually start the generator just to make sure I have that voltage going through the camper. Turn on the auto level button right here, and you level the coach. So get the coach nice and level, because you don't want to open your slide until your camper's level. If you're on uneven ground, with these big slides, especially like a super slide like this, it's pretty heavy. So you want to make sure you're nice and level before you put your slide out. So you auto level it. You want to stay still. You don't want to be moving around and doing a lot of things, because you will give it a little bounce and then it's going to struggle to get this level correctly. So once you get it leveled, get up, and then when you go back, open your slides up, and off you go camping, right? Put your awnings out. That's how simple it is with the motorhome to set up your campground. You do got nice features on this. It does have GPS. It does have Apple CarPlay, Android. So that way you can pair your phone up to this and play your music, project your maps and everything else that you want to do with your phone. These captain's chairs both swivel around, so you can see that this chair is already swiveled. The captain chair on the driver's side will do the same thing. That way you can use this as your living space once you're at your campsite. You do have another bed up here, 500-pound capacity. It is on a Schwintek system too. You pull these pins here on each side, and then controls for that is going to be right over here. Lower the bed down. It will not let you lower it down if you have the engine running, so you got to have the engine off to be able to lower and raise this bed. And then of course you got theater seats in this one. I mean, it's nice furniture. What's the decor called, Chad?
This is the Regatta. So
Regatta?
Two different solid woods. We have the Regatta, which is your darker, and then the Sanibel would be the lighter. All the furniture and the flooring are going to be the same, but then we would change the lambrequins and or the bedspread in the back.
Perfect. So that not only do you have the sleeping area up here, these are theater seats. It does come as an option for jackknife couch. If you did want that extra sleeping, this is a bunk house. So sometimes people that buy this coach here will have multiple people that want to sleep here. The table also easy down. You just pull this lever under here, and then this table just slides right down. Make sure the cushion's out of the way. Pull these back cushions, and then you got I don't know, about 6 foot, 5'10", 6 foot space here, I believe.
Yep, exactly. So you hit on a great point. We have 3 floor plans. So we have the 34.6, which is a bunk house, which is a smaller coach. We have the 35.2, which is a true mom and pop. And then we have the 37.1, which is your bunk house. For me, this checks all the boxes. It's a mom and pop coach, truly, and it's also a bunk house. So for me, my father and mother love to take the kids on certain trips. So if they do have the kids, we have bunks in the back. And the nice thing is, it's also another wardrobe. So it doesn't really have to be a true bunkhouse. It can also double as my wife or my mother's closet. So, but if they do bring the grandkids, then they can drop that down, and then they have the additional 2 beds here. And again, 500 pounds up top with a 250 pound ladder, which is now telescoping. So it's not sitting on the bed. It's right in its compartment where you want to be. So when we spec this out, we did the theater seating. So for mom and pop, that's great. You get the theater seating, you get the additional sleeping. It's a very universal coach, and it's also a little shorter coach, which is one of the things to get in those smaller campgrounds nowadays is a nice feature.
Perfect. A couple things that we didn't touch real quick is this is a 12-volt fridge. So this will run off your batteries. Right now we're on battery power, so the fridge is running. So it's a great feature while you're driving. You don't have to worry about keeping propane open because that's not something you really want to do, driving with your propane open. So this is a good feature. It will run off the 12-volt or the 6-volt batteries for a pretty long time. And then whenever your voltage gets low, you do have auto start generator on this floor plan. So what that means is you could set it for 3 different things. Your voltage gets low, 12.2, 12.3, generator starts up, gets you a nice full charge, shuts back off, and then your camper continues to run with all your LED lights and your fridge and everything else. And then from there, you can set it for temperature for, say, 70 degrees. The generator will kick on and run your AC units until it gets down to temperature. And then it does have quiet time too. So that way if you're at a campground, most campgrounds 10, 11 o'clock quiet time. So you don't want your generator to run during quiet time. So, and that gives you everything, be able to run this coach. During the daytime though, we do have solar panel on this, right?
Right, so you get a 100-watt solar panel standard. So what that ultimately is going to do, and the beauty is when from the north here, you put it in storage mode, you turn the disconnect off, and that's still going to trickle charge your batteries. So that way we don't get in a low voltage state where the battery could freeze and break.
And that panel is actually right here, so you can actually see how many volts you have on here right now.
Yep, so it's a 10 amp controller. So again, there's a little bit more room up there, so if you did want to add some panels, you would need to change out the controller because this 10 amp controller is only good for up to 100-watt panel. It does as well have the inverter. So you can, if again, as you're boondocking and you can't run the generator, this does allow you to run the 110 outlets, and it keeps the different aspects going while you're on the road. This is actually a 110 refrigerator. So this is going to pull off of the inverter. Yeah. Yep. And for us, and I'm going to tell you guys, we're doing our best to build units and get them out in a good quality fashion as well as to meet the demand. But the one thing you're going to see is running changes. It's inevitable in this environment. So that's where once in a while, it may be a 12 volt, it may be a 110. So again, call Colton RV, ask for Matt, and again, we can pull the data sheet on it to ultimately make sure we're meeting your expectations. So we're doing our best to just keep this the pipeline full so we can keep you guys camping. Tilt-a-view bed. So as I'm sitting in bed watching TV, I can tilt it up. One thing with this slide is you do need the bed tilted up when you're putting the slide in. It does have a 12-volt outlet for the new CPAPs are out there, and it does also have a 110 on the other side for that aspect. And I do love the fact that we do a stacker washer dryer. So if anyone out there knows an all-in-one combo unit does not shed a light on ultimately how much more efficient this can dry your jeans. Otherwise, the all-in-one just takes quite a bit of time. Yeah, so here's your 2 ladders. So every time you get a bunk house, you're going to get 2 ladders. So one for the bunk, one for the overhead bunk. And this is kind of cool. I don't normally show everyone's secret spot, but here's your secret spot. So now everyone knows who does own one of these. The secret spot is right up in here. So that's kind of cool to put your valuables. Again, it's not a safe, but it's kind of hidden little gem there.
All right. So give us a call here. Our number here is 716-694-0188. Give us a call. Go on the internet. We have a team of reps ready to answer any questions, or you can feel free give us, or just give us a call or chime in on our feed here. Again, Matt Smith here, Colton RV. Chad, I appreciate you taking us through. We're excited. We love this product here.